Welcome back to the locker room. I am Captain Paul, and before getting into the video, I appreciate if you hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe. It's a free way to help out the channel. And also, we'll be having a giveaway when we reach 5,000 subscribers. If you are subscribed and have the notification bell active as well, you'll be entered into the pool to win a $100 gift card giveaway. But let's get into it. So, we've seen a lot of action this offseason. Some good trades and some really good signings by particular teams. What's interesting to talk about is the available free agents. Now, I was going to use a certain website, but it just it was outdated information. So might as well just use Cat Friendly. Overall, they're pretty up to date. So some notables here is Patrick Kane. Got to see what he's doing health-wise. You know, for me, when I look at Patrick Kane, I think going back to the New York Rangers would be kind of ideal on like a one-year prove-it deal. See if that hip can hold up. Another situation, if he wants to make a little bit more money, Buffalo could be a really good destination for him. I said that last season. I think with Buffalo, they're going to be a team on the rise. And I would not be surprised if they finish top 3 in the Atlantic, with Boston probably going on a decline due to some departures. But yeah, Patrick Kane's going to be interesting, and, you know, we'll see how that plays out. Here they have David Krejci, but he's most likely retiring, so I'm not really going to go into him at all. If he was going to come back, it would be Boston. But with Bergeron out, I think Krejci's going to be following suit. But Thomas Tatar, this is a player that I'm a little bit surprised it's still available. 82 games played last season, 20 goals, 28 assists for 48 points. That's a pretty damn good production. And in a middle six situation, he's a beautiful addition. Teams that kind of stand out to me, I made a Pittsburgh video yesterday. Pittsburgh, if they could somehow sign Tatar, that would be fantastic, if I'm being honest with you. Another depth winger, because then you have Gensel, who I thought was on LTIR with Cat Friendly. I've been struggling with sleep lately. He's designated on LTIR at Cat Friendly, but he'll be fine at the beginning of the season. But if you could add another little key addition there, you have Riley Smith, who you acquired, you add Thomas Tatar. Maybe I change my mind about the Penguins being a serious contender. I think there's still holes there. I don't necessarily believe in Jari winning you a cup, but I mean, shoot. With Malkin and Crosby still being quality hockey players, the Penguins could, make some pretty good noise in the postseason. So another notable here is Phil Kessel. He's 35 years old, so he's not ancient. He might sign a one-year deal somewhere else. He played with Vegas, but he was a healthy scratch after the first round. Does Kessel really have much tangible NHL value at this point? I don't know. Maybe a minimum contract or somewhere in a third, fourth line role, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kessel just called it a career. Maybe I can be completely wrong there, but I just don't see Kessel having enough in the tank. And it was kind of apparent when he was taken out of the lineup. Vegas really kind of came into their own. And that's not to say Kessel hasn't had a fantastic career. The dude has been a fantastic hockey player for a very, very long time. But, you're going to be getting minimal production. But he made 1.5 last season, maybe a $1 million deal. And he, maybe someplace coming to mind, maybe Arizona, or hell, maybe a team that's contending. He wants to try to get another cup under his belt. Zach Parise. I gotta say, for a guy that much maligned due to that contract and how things went, he had a decent year last year. 82 games played, 21 goals, 13 assists, 34 points. That's still a 20-goal scorer. Yeah, I think he's got a role. I'm surprised. I'm admittedly surprised looking at the New York Islanders. They didn't decide to kind of bring him back into the fold. They're currently $486,000 over the cap. I mean, maybe that's a potential thing they could bring back. Actually, really looking at it, they could use Parise back. I'm just not sure what they would do. Who they would kind of jettison, but I think Parise will probably be a late signing, maybe just before training camp, if he wants to play. he's made a lot of money throughout his career, so if he calls it a career, that's perfectly all right. And then Jonathan Toews, you know, I think, didn't he say he's done? Yeah, I believe he said he's done. So I think Jonathan Toews, I'm not really going to go much conversation. I got to because I just made a video about that relatively recently. And like I said, I'm fighting a kind of a sickness, so my memory's not fucking hot right now. But, you know, Jonathan Toews had a fantastic hockey career as well. And I'm not really surprised. Oh, that's right. He didn't have his name included in his agency's list of available free agents. So Jonathan Toews is most likely done. Eric Staal, he played well, and I could see him going back to the Panthers in a right situation. I mean, in a fourth line role, dude was steady. Is he going to blow your doors down? No. Panthers are currently $1.1 million over the cap. Yeah, maybe not with the Panthers, actually, looking at this roster. They might be better suited going a little bit younger. But I think Eric Staal, if he wants to have a role somewhere, you know, there's going to be teams vying for his services in a fourth-line role. Shoot, a lot of teams could use a veteran like him. He's a good leader. Now, there's not much here. Some notables, maybe Nick Ritchie, you know, third, fourth liner guy, Josh Bailey. Same thing. Like, there's no superstar available left. The best out of this lot is definitely up front going to be Thomas Tatar, in my opinion. Ethan Bear is still available. And that's a player that could maybe, you know, maybe he could find a right situation. Because at one point, Ethan Bear was actually looked at as a very promising player. Yeah, because he played with Vancouver last year. He did solid. So I think Ethan Bear, he'll be back at the NHL level because there's, you know, you need quality NHL defenders. But, I mean, there's not too much here. There's just not. So let me kind of make some filters. If it lets me make these filters. But, you know, where are we? What are we doing here? Position. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Okay, defense. I'll just do points because it's kind of easier to do it that way. And these videos right here are going to be a little less edited just because kind of want to get multiple videos doing a little. I'm working on a Henrik Lundqvist documentary style video. But for the available 12 free agents, some bottom six depth, if that. Nick Holden can be solid. He's older, though, but maybe as a sixth or seventh D-man, that's quality. Caleb Jones. I think it's going to be interesting to see how things play out here. Cal Foote, which is kind of surprising considering... That is actually kind of surprising considering that trade with Nashville. I'm surprised they didn't offer him anything, but that's a little bit surprising. But like, really, nobody crazy here. Like Hayek, I don't think is a NHL level defenseman, 7th D-man at best. But if I'm gonna make any type of determination up front, definitely it's gonna be Thomas Tatar leading the way. Defense, I mean, you have okay defenders. Ethan Bear, not bad. Nick Holden, not bad. But nobody's going to blow your fucking doors down here. And we'll go into goaltending because this is a situation where some people might be looking for a goaltender. So let's see who's available. Jonathan Bernier. He might be done, though. Yeah, Jonathan Bernier might be done, right? Because he had that health situation in New Jersey. I think he's done. Antu Khudobin. I loved him in Boston, but he was horrific in his last stint. I don't think he'll be back. Mike Smith, that's more formality. Martin Jones, he's available. Horrific stats. Good win-loss record, but horrific stats. Sub 900 save percentage with an 886. And Grubauer took over in the playoffs, and he lived up to what he was supposed to be when the Seattle Kraken got him. I think they're better off getting away from Jones. Jones has kind of been on a downward trend for quite a while now at this point, if I'm going to honestly look at it. Because when I've been looking at Jones, you know, he had that really good run there for a bit with the San Jose Sharks for a few years. And then, you know, it's just been, he's been at a 900, a sub 900 goaltender for the, what was that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God, 5. So he's been at 900 or below in save percentage in 5 seasons in a row. San Jose Sharks weren't a great team for a bit of his tenure there, so I don't want to completely blame that on him, but he hasn't shown enough to me to even justify a backup role in the NHL unless you're desperate. I think he's good as like a third in your organization depth-wise. Halak, you know, he's lost a little bit of his game due to age. Brian Elliott, he had the easiest job in the NHL a few years ago. Or was that actually last year? Is he going to be back? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, when you're backing up Vasilevsky for the last couple of years, it's a pretty sweet gig. And, you know, Corey Schneider, he's done at the NHL level. Michael Hutchinson, he's a quality third depth guy. But yeah, nobody really here of note. If I'm going to say anything at all, the biggest surprise for me has got to be Thomas Tatar. Thomas Tatar being not signed is actually very, very shocking. The guy has been a very good quality player for a long time. Patrick Kane, I'm not as surprised due to the injury issues. You know, people want to see how that heals. I can totally understand that. And he's the one kind of sitting on it. Apparently, he's had some contract offers. But, like, when you look at Thomas Tatar, is he a superstar? Absolutely not. But, you know, a quality, you know, 40, 50, well, 30 will do to injury here. Last the season with 30. I mean, he's a quality around 40. If you get in the 40s with Thomas Tatar, you're getting a good deal here. In Detroit, he's 40s, 50s, sometimes 60 in the point totals. But yeah, I think Tatar would be a great addition for the Pittsburgh Penguins if they're looking to add a little bit more depth on the wing. But yeah, I'd like to know your thoughts, guys. What do you think of this, the remaining free agents, and where do you think they're going to land? I think for me, Patrick Kane, most likely, I could see him taking a short deal with the Rangers, or if he wants to get a bit more money with the Buffalo Sabres, because they have a little bit more cap space to play with. And as for Thomas Tatar, I think the Penguins would be a really good fit, just so they could add that extra depth. And I mean, any NHL team could really use a guy like Thomas Tatar. Like I said, not a superstar, but a good quality hockey player. But I'd like to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.